Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Jarl the Appian Way here. These are some units you don't see from me every day. Right here. I am playing as Dardania, but Anatolian swords? The regular kind? Why would I ever do that? This is a 1v1 against Wipeout. And in this game, we both agreed to some preset rules. We wanted to try 4,400 funds cap for each weight category of unit, and a cap of 2 chariots in their weight category. Alright, so that means that with 4,400 spend, I cannot bring any more than, you know, just two Dardanian defenders and 2 fearless swordsmen, because these guys cost 4,200 in my heavy infantry slot. So that's it for my heavy infantry picks. For my medium infantry picks, I picked 2 renowned Dardanian sworn fighters. They cost 900 apiece for 1,800. And 4 Anatolian swords. They cost 500 apiece, which brings that whole spend up to 3,800. I could have brought another one of the Anatolian swords, but I also had 800 funds left over at that point, so I just brought 4 of the Dardanian mob to fill out my light infantry slot, and because you know how much I love the mobs, I brought 2 heavy chariots, and I brought my archer skirmisher hero on a chariot. Wipeout over here is already getting a little shot up. He brought a regular Anatolian chariot and 2 heavy Trojan chariots. He brought 2 Corabantes. Corabantes, even though it says here that they count as medium, they don't count against his medium infantry picks because these guys are a mythic unit. So mythic units will not be held against your 4,400. He brought 4 Trojan defenders, so that's 4,000 spend right there. And he brought a Hector's Chosen for 1,500 and a Warlord Commander on foot. So the battle's going to get started out here with the chariot duel. I actually had counted my chariots out of this. I figured that the extra Anatolian chariot was going to make the difference. I gave an attack order to hit this Trojan chariot, but I saw that this one was coming out here, so I'm going to double team that one real quick, pull my archer skirmisher hero away from this. The infantry fight is also about to line up. I'm going to let the chariot battle play off in the background. You see the other chariots are going to go join that battle. I'm pulling my units out of the trees now that I had them hidden in. I'm holding my ground so I can expend some javelins. Dardanian defenders cost the same as a Trojan defender, but the Dardanian defenders have the benefit of javelin chucking. So in this game, my micro is actually really focused right here. I see this Hector's Chosen come my way, and I go, you know what? Let's just see how long my Dardanian mobs can hold it. So I'm going to throw 3 Dardanian mobs at this Hector's Chosen. I'm going to use my renowned Dardanian sworn fighters to try and beat up this Trojan defender while I pit it with the Dardanian mob. And then on down the line, you see all this is going on. I've got 2 Corabantes facing a fearless sword. This is not so hot for me. I'm going to flank attack it with Anatolian swords. Going to get these Anatolian swords over here. And look at this. Somehow in this battle, my 2 heavy Trojan chariots shatter the 1 heavy Trojan chariot. And just looking at the health bars, I recognize I've won this battle, even though he brought more chariots than I did. So I'm going to go ahead and focus both my heavy chariots on this heavy chariot. My archer skirmisher is dealing plenty of damage, but also this, the medium chariot, the Anatolian chariot, is practically inconsequential. This is actually a really unfortunate thing that Wipeout and I had to discuss afterwards, going, how on the earth did this happen? So now I've got my infantry, my medium infantry, I have regular old Anatolian swords, 125 weapon damage for only costing 500. This is actually a fairly impressive unit. I'm going to get flank attacks here. This Trojan defender is already getting beat up by my Dardanian defender. Unfortunately, the Dardanian defenders just do not, they don't trade well with the Dardanian defender. The Trojan defender just ends up losing that fight. And as you can see here, I'm taking my time and lining up a perfect rear charge. And even though this is just a cheap medium sword unit, they're going to roll on in here and just wreak havoc on this unit's morale. The renowned Dardanian sworn fighters, I'm cycle charging to try and help me turn the tide on this Trojan defender. I've gotten my archer skirmisher hero out here now. He's going to start taking the occasional pop shot into Hector's Chosen. You can see my morale is starting to drop on this mob. There was a 3rd mob out here. It must have... Oh, I put it into the back of this Trojan defender instead of Hector's Chosen because I needed the space clear to take some shots at it. As you can see now, I brought this chariot over. I can do some rear attacks. The Corabantes do a good job holding this little pocket here. Even though I'm attacking in multiple directions, they are still in dire straits. I've already pulled that chariot through on that. The chariot battle is, there's nothing left. And this is pretty much a straightforward victory for me. As you can see, I'm getting some chariot rear charges here. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch it again because I want to pay more attention to that chariot battle. But as you can see, I did lose this Fearless Sword to the combined Corabantes. This is going to free up the Corabantes to fight my Anatolian swords. But at that point, the writing was on the wall. Wipeout knew it. He conceded the battle. Look at this bloody pocket that the Corabantes caused. Absolute carnage. But the rest of the battle was just a done deal. And the Hector's Chosen had also just started to lose their morale because of the fire that was coming in from my Archer Skirmisher hero. So let's look at some of the statistics real quick. Look at the Chosen. They killed 247 mob. I might have gotten 3 kills. Maybe 11, maybe. But those kills were probably against a Trojan Defender and not likely to have happened against the Hector's Chosen. 179 for this Trojan Defender. Again, also probably on Dardanian mob and maybe a little bit of it on the renowned Dardanian Sworn Fighters, who did really well in those engagements. The mob took the brunt of the damage. They were able to escape most of the damage and deal out some damage of their own. The kills on the heavy Trojan chariots and on the Anatolian chariot tell their own story. I got plenty of kills on mine, but they were also boosted by the fact that I was able to get some rear charges. Almost 300 kills for Corabantes is a good showing. The Warlord Commander helping to round out that corner of the battlefield. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And one of the things that we really liked about this battle, even though it was rather one-sided and Wipeout was able to tell that he needed to concede defeat in that game, we both reflected afterwards that this forced us to look deeper into the rosters of these armies. And we did a couple of other games. We did one other game as well where we played Mycene against Ithaca, and basically what we learned was that it made us to look deeper down the roster. We couldn't just focus all of our energy on our heavy infantry. We had to go and look for the medium infantry slots. Hector's infantry army is fairly thin. What saves them in their medium infantry slot is the Hector's Chosen, quite clearly. For Dardania, after you spend 4,000 points in Dardanian defenders and fearless swords, 4,100 or 4,300, you have to find some medium infantry to use. And for me, that pick was renowned Dardanian Sworn Fighters and Anatolian swords. And I've never had a reason to pick Anatolian swords before until we played with this rule set. And then, again, the chariots, we're going to go figure out what happened there, because my mind is boggled by this, and Wipeout's mind was boggled as well. Okay, so the chariot battle begins with my Archer Skirmisher taking some cheap shots at the medium chariots. I think I figured it would just be easier to break one of these chariots than one of these two. I order attack orders for this chariot to attack that one and that chariot to attack this one. But seeing that this one had targeted the center of my formation, I go ahead and I just have both attack here, and I fall back with my Archer Skirmisher hero. This gives initially no advantage to either one of our chariots, and then his chariot collapses in on this. And then I think there was just long enough for there to be a 2v1 advantage against this Trojan chariot that its morale just absolutely plummeted. I need to pause real quick. Let's take a look at the morale on this heavy Trojan chariot, see what's going on. So it sustained a ton of damage very quickly, which is where that minus 44 comes from. There was a flank attack, under missile fire, losing currently, and exposed flank. That's not to say that my heavy Trojan chariot also didn't take damage. But I think what it boiled down to was that I had a 2v1 scenario there for maybe about 7 or 8 seconds of the battle, and that's what the anti-large damage in the flank attack is what really dealt the damage to this Trojan chariot. Let's keep going, see how the rest of this carries out. because they are also under missile fire from my archer skirmisher hero. I think my skirmisher hero probably at this point has already changed targets. This chariot is going to break. The morale is solidly in my favor here. You can see my morale bar on my chariots is actually... Let's find my... Nope. Let's find my chariots, please. Thank you. 18 from damage sustained, but a bonus from having the hero nearby. There's a 20-point morale bonus for charging. Okay, so that really helped pick up their morale once this Trojan chariot started. Once he decided to pull out his 2 chariots, because this isn't routing yet. This is actually a move order to get out of there. Let's see how this plays out. He's going to try and, I guess, slow me down at the end with the medium chariots. Okay, yeah, the heavy Trojan chariot has broken now. I'm going to go ahead and give order for my weaker Trojan chariot to attack the medium chariot, and my heavy Trojan chariot to attack the one that's already now down half health after all of that. It just seems to be that it's really easy for chariots to deal damage to each other. Very easy. I'm also shooting into this too with my archer skirmisher hero, and he's dealing a ton of damage with each shot. The medium chariot completely inconsequential here, and that's it. They've both broken here. It's pretty phenomenal to me to see how much the first few seconds matter, because that's what that was. I did take a ton of damage on my chariots, but I won this chariot engagement because I was able to get an early 2v1, and even though it's only for a few seconds, that made the difference for the rest of the battle, because the damage sustained penalty against the morale, and as their morale falls, so too do their melee defense, and see here, it hurts their melee defense, hurts their melee attack. Speed is actually being hurt by the grass. Yeah. Lessons learned. That was very interesting. So let me know what you thought of that battle. Let me know if you want to see more of this. The reason we're doing all of this experimenting is because we'd love to find a way to do a tournament one day, and we want to kind of solidify on a set bunch of rules to make those the most fair. Anyway, ta-ta, I love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
The warriors are losing heart.